Today's program, we have more than 350 managers and board join in the Zoom chat box, and more than thousands people from the credit union has been joining in this live program. We have also broadcasting the live program from the SACCU's cover our one Facebook blog. So we'll keep in regular in our blog so that the many people will see and will visit this page and learn, learn from this our program. So we'll keep continue in our Facebook web page. And before welcome speech was given by our vice chairperson. She's also the coordinator of Member Service Management Subcommittee also. And then after our chairperson, Paritosh Paudel sir, has given the welcome remark, and he also convey the thanks to you also, because you are also providing the valuable time to us and to share experience on the operation and continue of credit union and to respond the pandemic credit union business. So, and after that, Durga just completed his presentation. He just explained briefly how can continue and focus credit union activities during the pandemic and way forward, and how to build an absolute and professionalism SACCUs in the context of Nepal and the pandemic. So he just completed this one. And this program for building absolute and professionalism progression branding program has been implementing since 2012 in collaboration with the government Department of Cooperative, Government of Nepal. Now in the progression program, 220 SACCUs is enrolled, and we have been regular conducting the program activities to them. In the 22 cluster, we have divided into the 22 cluster by 220 SACCUs. And this year, currently in 2019, 24 SACCUs credit union has standardized and get the branding standardized from this brand. So now I would like to hand over this virtual forum to Lenny. She is from the ACCU, and to present her the presentation on the credit union guideline impact and response to the pandemic credit union business solution, which is also mentioned in the guideline, credit union guideline also in guideline 27. So now, Lenny, are you ready?
Yes, I am ready.
Okay. Now I will give you this forum to you to present your presentation. And after your presentation, we'll just take a few queries from our participant, and then we'll discuss. We'll not take more time to you, so that we'll just select it a few candidates we take for your interaction. Thank you.
Yes.
And I'll welcome you in your presentation.
Thank you very much, Prakash. And it's a great opportunity thank you very much, NEFSCUN management team. I would like to say hello to our respected chairman, Paritosh, and to the board of directors of NEFSCUN who are in this meeting, and also the management team of NEFSCUN, and also namaste to all the participants joining. This is a very successful virtual conference. I have noticed that there are more than 350 people attending. This is very successful, and congratulations. This is only showing that the SACCUs movement on Nepal is very much, very much active and responding to the challenges that is posed to you by the health pandemic that we are experiencing globally. So what I am going to share is that some of the brief presentation about the credit union solution number 27, because ACCU recognized that it's very important for us to connect each other and discuss the impacts and issues, and also the response of credit unions on the pandemic. But we also recognize that it is important to put this into writing, because speaking and talking is good, but at the end of the talk, maybe we would be able to forget what we have actually discussed. So ACCU put together this document that will guide all the credit unions in Asia. So shall we put my presentation?
Yeah, Lenny. Yeah.
Yes.
You can share from your computer, I think so.
Oh, I see. Okay, I actually, all right. Oh.
So,
okay, Lenny ma'am, we can share from here also.
Okay, then I will share from my computer then.
Okay.
Sorry, I thought you will be doing it. Okay, no problem.
Yeah,
so,
I think it will be better. Lenny, you share from your computer, so it will be
sure.
easy, for you.
Okay, I will share from my computer. Can you now see?
Yeah, we are seeing. So for the translation in Nepali, I think no need right now for the translation. So later Durga will translate briefly what you share with the participants. It will be better, yeah, Lenny?
Yes, okay. So then I will go at one time. It's not going to be a long presentation. I make it more concise so that I understand that we have to be very, very concise with this presentation.
Yeah, sure.
The first thing is that when this is a crisis is a temporary situation. So we are very positive that this will end, but only it will take time. There was a news that the vaccine is already in testing in the United States, and they were anticipating that probably by January up to June, the vaccine for the coronavirus will be available. So looking at that situation, I think we can say that this is a temporary situation. The crisis is a temporary situation, but after the crisis, there will be a change in the way we behave in the environment. There will be a change in the way we serve our members in our credit union. The most important thing now is to manage the risk and to manage the risk and ensure that our credit unions are continuing to serve our members despite the challenges and abnormalities that we have. First of all, we need to think about the well-being of the members. I think that as a leader of credit unions, as manager of credit union, whenever we look at this situation, we should never forget the foundation of our SACCOs. The foundation of our SACCOs are the members of your credit union. Without the members, there's no SACCOs. You might be thinking about now, protecting your institution. No, the first is the members. First, you need to understand what are the situation of the members. Members are getting sick, members are losing job, members cannot go to the market, members may lose their assets because of the prolonged lockdown that is also being experienced in Nepal. They may not be, definitely they are unable to access financial services. If the credit union do not have digital channels, members would not be able to come to your office. Members cannot come to your office to deposit their savings. And one thing that will make it more, more serious, if the members do not have emergency savings. Emergency savings is very important because anything that could happen in any individual, like for example now the lockdown, if members do not have money to buy basic needs, they will go hungry. It's good that in many countries, I'm sure that in Nepal it's happening, some of the credit unions are providing relief goods to the members. But this is going to be temporary arrangement. This is not to be forever. So if the members has emergency savings, they would be able to stand for this. Leaders of credit unions should also look after the employees because just like the members, the employees also might not have emergency savings in their hands. If the lockdown is prolonged and the pandemic is also prolonged, you know, the credit union definitely will have no income. The credit union will have a problem of liquidity. The staff of your credit unions know this very well. So the impact is that there is a question about the job security. There are many companies. Now I also understand, even in Thailand, some of the companies in Thailand who shut down their operations during the emergency crisis were asked their staff to reduce certain percentage of their salaries. Some of the staff may not have salary increment, may not have bonuses because the companies already had no income. So this is, credit unions is not excuse to that. SACCOs also are experiencing the same thing. So then the staff will have job security and low morale. There is also some problem about work from home challenges because in some places where internet is slow and where the staff is residing in a small place, there will be no office environment or good working condition, and that will also limit the productivity of the staff. If your staff are reporting to the office and you are asking them to come on a skeletal force, you also need to ensure that they are well protected. You need to ensure that the staff are given PPE, personal protective equipment, to protect them, because otherwise they are going to the battle without proper equipment, without proper weapon. Yeah? Okay. So we have members, we have employees, and now we have your SACCOs, your institution. Now the question is, are we prepared for this? Have we created a plan that prepares us for any disaster or this crisis? In many cases, what we have in some credit unions or in some SACCOs are disaster preparedness in earthquake, in flood, but not in health. Do you get my point? Yeah. And then legal compliance is another issue for credit unions because there are some cases where you have to submit reports. You have to submit annual report or audit report to the regulators. In Nepal, your annual audit will be in July. So have you already checked with the regulators? Will they allow you to postpone the submission of the required reports? Because by July 15, I know that Nepal has to be audited. Yeah. Would that be possible during this time when there is a lockdown? Yeah, so that is an issue that we all need to together to address. Portfolio quality is another one, and the institution. It will definitely degrade the portfolio quality, especially those SACCOs under probation and those SACCOs under access branding. You may not have savings mobilization at this time. And if the delinquency is going high, there is no excuse. We are not going to lessen or degrade the provisioning for loan is still the same, because the principle of self-help as safety and soundness is still the same despite the crisis. The only thing that we need to do is to manage the crisis, is to manage the impact of the crisis. And definitely your lending will be affected. Okay. In my next slide, I am going to show to you some of the recommendations that we have given in the document, in the solution number 27. On the members, these are the things. These are exactly the impacts. Because if we are able to identify the impacts according to your context of where you are operating as a SACCO, it will be very, how do I say, your plan or your business continuity plan will be very realistic. One is the health of the members. We need to see, because the health of the members are, like for example, you have a membership more than 60 years above. So according to World Health Organization, people with the age of more than 60 years old are very susceptible, vulnerable to the contamination of the virus. So we need to see whether our members 60 years old and above, what is their risk in being infected by the virus. We have to have concern on that. Okay, ability to pay of the members will definitely be affected, digital channels and resilience. I will go one by one. Okay, I want to share with you this survey that I came across on the internet on credit union. The question is, in what way can your credit union support you and your family during this situation? There are three top answers. Credit unions can help us increase peace of mind, because right now the members of credit unions are very much worried. They are very stressful because we do not know what is the future. The credit union provide me with the relief I need to get through the crisis. Number two is that build my hope, continually be there for me through the guidance and solutions. What does it mean? Our SACOs need to use, your phone, your social media to connect with the members. This is the time your SACOs is needed by the members, not even financial services, but even guidance and even, motivating them and giving them hope. Number three is reduce my unnecessary stress. Make it easy for me to access staff and tools when and how I need them. So these three are very important clue or tips for credit unions, for your SACOs, to connect with your members right now. You might be at home, your staff may be not working in your office, but still they are reachable through the social media. Okay, that's very important now. On the members' health, I was telling this, there is an age vulnerability. If your members are more than 60 years and above, they are more vulnerable to the disease. And if the immune system is weak, these are the two things the World Health Organization is worried about people. So I think the response, our suggestion, and you have a member education program, in your SACOs. I think we need to ensure in the next time or even now, we need to teach our members, we need to include in our member education about health education. There are many topics that you can incorporate, but I think this is very important so that they will be able to protect and to prevent getting sick. Because the coronavirus, according to the experts, it will stay there with us. It's not going to disappear. It's not going to disappear. There will be vaccine, but the virus is still there, lurking and infecting people. Now, your credit union, I'm sure that you are doing, also need to think that health insurance is necessary for our members. Okay. These are the things that you need to look at on the member's ability to pay. A member's ability to pay is impacted by those who are daily wage earners because they cannot work now because of the lockdown. But micro enterprises also cannot work because of the lockdown. Farmers or agribusiness cannot sell their products. We have a case in Philippines where it's also locked down in Philippines. The farmers just throw their vegetables and cannot bring to the market because there's no transportation to bring the products in the market. I heard this in our SACO, in our meeting with the Access SACOs. They were saying members have some money, but they cannot go to the credit union. They cannot pay their loan because there is no door-to-door service right now. The price increase, if it happened in Nepal, it will also decrease the capability of the members to pay. So the response, the response of our SACOs, financial counseling. We need to financial counsel the members because after the lockdown, it's very difficult for them to make up for the payments that they miss. So the credit union need to renegotiate the loan, need to give moratoriums, and need to give the financial counseling to them. Another one is facilitate the selling of members' products during the lockdown. I do not know whether this has been done in Nepal, but in countries where there is a lockdown, the credit union help the members to sell the products within the community. And we need to reach out to the members. And when the lockdown is finished, and even now, we need to integrate business development services in the SACOs so that our members would be able to create jobs through enterprises. Okay. Oh, sorry. The next one is member digital channels. So this is very important now that we need to think about if this is not happening in the SACOs. We should be able to, NEFSCUN, I'm sure that NEFSCUN is already talking about this. We need to, as much as possible, look at digital avenues so that when even there is a crisis like this, members would be able to pay their utilities, pay their credit union, get the loan from their credit union using mobile phone. So we need to discourage dependence on cash, and we need to also train our members on digital literacy. Because sometimes, even on our experience, even if it is available, people do not actually know how to use. Yeah. Another one is members' resilience. On the members' resilience means, they themselves are able to manage the crisis. They can be able to manage. Now, right now, based on the survey, members are stressed. They have mental problem on mental health because they do not know what the future is, and also financial health. They do not have money. They do not have emergency savings. So our response is we need to integrate financial counseling in member training. It should be mandatory for members of credit unions to build emergency fund of at least 6 months of monthly expenses. In that way, the members would be able to become resilient or strong in terms of emergency, in cases of emergency, right? I'm going now through the staff. Okay, for the staff is job security and morale, work from home challenges, and health protection. So these are the things. These are all the recommendations for job security and morale. We need to ensure that our staff will get their salaries. There is no reduction in the salary of the staff. We need to ensure that they will continue the job because we need to ensure that we can still use their services. We have to be very creative, and we need to utilize the available staff in order to reach out to the members. We need to have transparency. BCP is called Business Continuity Plan. All the SACOs need to have business continuity plan. I will explain later what that is. We need to be, as a manager of SACOs, you need to be optimistic and positive in all the communications that you are doing within your staff and also within the credit union, not negative. We need to be flexible. And we also need to have virtual team bonding, or like gathering. You gather or you socialize physically in person. So we can also maintain this even it is only through computer or through internet or through social media. Work from home challenges. Of course, you are doing this. No, I don't need to mention this. You can be conferencing using virtual platforms, daily check-ins, and important is that you need to have work from home policy. It's not just sending away all the stuff and okay, now you can work at home. No, you need to have a clear-cut policy regarding how the work from home works. Okay, the health protection of the staff, equip staff with needed PPEs or personal protective equipment when they work in the office. Suspend all in-person meetings and use digital channels. Yeah. Okay, the next one is institution or your SACOs. We have a lot of here, lots. Okay, so I will go one by one on the institution impacts and recommendations of ACCU. Right. Number one is disaster preparedness. It's not only about disaster of earthquake like you experience in Nepal, but this should be called business continuity plan. The business continuity plan is the process of creating a system of prevention and recovery to deal with potential threats to credit unions of crisis similar to COVID. The goal is to enable ongoing operations before and after during the execution of the disaster recovery. The goal of the business continuity plan is to ensure that you will have an ongoing operations, not to shut down, not to close down the office, no. If you have a business continuity plan, the goal is always to continue running your credit union and continue your credit union to be servicing your members because you're able to manage the risk and you're able to find options on how to operate a credit union despite the crisis. All right, this is the business continuity plan. First is you need to identify the impacts. The credit union business solution number 27 gives you a guideline what are the areas of impacts of COVID-19. You need to identify the risk, and we also have given you that. And most importantly is the response. These are only the 3 items or areas that you need to focus on business continuity plan. And then of course the action plan, who is going to do and when it's going to be done. Business continuity plan will only be followed during the crisis. After the crisis, you go on with your regular strategic planning, but it has to be reviewed. It has to be reviewed after the COVID-19 and after the crisis is over. Because after the COVID-19, even there is a vaccine, the environment has changed a lot. It's no longer the same before COVID-19. So we need to have another exercise after the vaccine is actually developed, because I am telling you now, the environment is changed already. Even there is a vaccine, I am sure you will not go out without the mask. I am sure you are not going to touch people. I am sure that you are very, very worried about, because maybe that person is a carrier of virus. Even there is a vaccine. The international travel is going to be different, not the same. All right. Yeah. Okay, I go to the liquidity management. I'm happy to hear that in Nepal, there is no problem on liquidity. In fact, oh, by the way, you have a still liquidity problem, but the liquidity problem is in a different angle, saying that we talked with some SACO saying that The problem is we do not know how to utilize our liquidity. Yeah, okay. The next is digital channel. I think I already mentioned integrate digital literacy training in member education and require staff to use digital channels wherever it is available. And of course, we are also addressing that NEFSCUN to accelerate digitization. Lending. Right now, we need to avoid granting new loans if they will create indebtedness to members. Again, if you need to stop the granting loans for emergencies, granting loans for providential, because this is not the time for it. You will face problem, but grant loans that will support business and farmers. Okay, you need to review the lending process because it's not normal now. Everything has changed and we need to integrate business development services in lending so that we will help our members to see opportunities for business. Portfolio quality, we need to establish scenarios on the number of members and loan amount affected by the crisis. And those are the only loans that will be granted moratorium and renegotiation. Only members affected by the crisis, not everybody. It's not for general, it's not for everybody. And we need to be transparent of the loan portfolio quality to the board. The manager should prepare this and tell to the board, this is the amount of loan affected by the lockdown. And so these are the amount of loans we need to renegotiate. Okay, on the savings side, financial counseling and financial literacy training is needed because what we are aiming for is for all members, mandatory to build members' emergency fund, equivalent to 6 months of their family expenses. This cannot be withdrawn. This can only be withdrawn whenever a crisis is struck. Okay, for the revenue, we need to explore new loan offering that promotes microenterprise. And we need to provide services that support value chain promotion for members' businesses. For external borrowing, if the credit union, if SACOS has external borrowing, this is the time to renegotiate existing external funding. But I guess it's not going to be a problem for the SACOS in Nepal because if I'm sure that your loan came from NEFSCUN, and so you do not also have liquidity problem now. Okay, on the operating and capital expenditure, we need to reduce expenses as much as possible because right now you have additional cost. You have an additional cost for PPEs, sanitizers, and things like that for the coronavirus. Institutional capital, we need to strive to achieve 10% ratios to total assets because this is the financial cushion in times of crisis. I was always saying that the access SACOs we are not worried about because they have financial cushion in the times of crisis. I hope that all the SACOs and all the credit unions would realize if only that we have 10% in net institutional capital of our net institutional capital, we don't worry about the crisis because the credit union is still strong. On the governance, we need to ensure that board can perform. Okay, this is important. We need to ensure that board can perform their oversight function even during the lockdown. The board need to mandate that there should be a business continuity plan in place in the SACOs. Okay. And last is the legal compliance, adherence to regulatory guidelines of the regulators and government. And the SACOs need to provide feedback to the Federation on what regulatory support or advocacy the Federation should communicate to the regulators. Okay. So I think this is my last slide. ACCU, even if this is still in the crisis, we never changed our mandate. Our mandate is to ensure that member life goals and aspirations are fulfilled. So that is the reason why we are giving them additional support. We are now, guiding them, motivating them, and helping the members to cope up. And credit unions still deliver quality services to improve the lives of the people. And NEFSCUN is managing the network. This is a good thing that NEFSCUN is doing this webinar so that they will be able to cope up with the situation. And, ACCU is always here. We would like to hear any comments from you on what do you think ACCU can add value to this kind of situation in Nepal. So thank you so much, and it's my pleasure to be with you this afternoon.